Hello and welcome. I'm Sam Califer, your host for Vision, the show all about the College of Arts and Sciences. Today I'm joined by Dr. Christian Wolf. He's the new department head for the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. And so I wanted to have him on to talk about the department and about his future plans. So Christian, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yes.
Great to be here.
I'm excited to have you on, and you replied last minute and joined me, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, you're new to campus, you're the new department head, and so I just wanted to let you introduce yourself, to the community. And so to start, yeah, I would love to hear about your academic career and what drew you to this position of department head for the Department of Math and Stats.
Got it. So as you might already hear, I have a slight accent. I grew up in another part in the world. So I grew up in Munich, Germany,
Sure.
where I went to high school and then eventually also to university and eventually got at the Technical University of Munich my PhD.
Sure.
After that, I was a postdoc at Indiana University for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then I was had another postdoc position in Lisbon, Portugal for a year.
Sure.
And then I went to Kansas for a tenure track and was there about 8 years, where I got tenure as a regular academic track. And
Right.
in 2010, I moved to New York City, joined the City University of New York,
Sure.
commonly known as CUNY.
Yeah.
I spent the last 15 years in CUNY. I had a dual appointment at the City College of New York, which is the flagship campus of CUNY,
Sure.
and at the CUNY Graduate Center, which is a graduate school with about over 100 faculty members.
Mm-hmm.
And during this time, I was 5 years department chair at CCNY. And among other positions, the last 3 years, I was director of the graduate program with said 100 faculty members.
Sure.
Well, last January, I thought maybe there's something else for me in my so-called third step of career in the future. I saw the job out here, applied, I came to the interview, and here I am.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yes. Now, talking about the school, obviously I researched the school quite intensively before I applied.
Sure.
It's a prominent R1 research university,
That's right.
which was very attractive. I looked at math and stats, which is a joint department. It's not a department of mathematics where I worked previously. Quite interdisciplinary and
Sure.
with a wide variety of different areas.
Yeah.
So with a great student population, so I thought this might be a very good place to have an impact.
Yeah.
Having an impact is what drives me. I really want to make things better.
Sure.
And so I thought it's a good opportunity to have a large impact to a large amount of students of all kind of different levels.
Yeah, definitely. It's so interesting to hear about kind of your journeys and everywhere you've been. I think Starkville is a cool cultural hub. There's people from all over the world. But yeah, that you have that experience, obviously, as a professor and as a department head. And so excited for you to come here with new ideas and just try to make the department as good as it can be. And
that's a goal, definitely.
Yeah. And and so that's great to hear. And I think you're a good, advocate for it. You seem very passionate. And yeah, you mentioned that it is not just a department of math; it's math and stats. And when I was writing these questions out, I was like, I've never even thought about that. So they are two different disciplines. I was wondering if you could talk about the similarities and differences.
So there is an overlap between math and stats because some of the theory heavily intersects. And there are other departments where statisticians work, say, in a department of mathematics. Once in a while, that causes some problems. So having the separation with kind of equal layers is certainly a good thing. Now, differences, I think statistics overall is a little bit more applied. Overall, the main theme is to develop strategies, methodologies to derive information from large complex data sets.
Sure.
So that can be theoretical to develop new approaches, or it can be heavily applied, looking at data sets where as a society we need some information to make predictions and make reasonable and informed decisions based on scientific facts. So that's where statistics comes in. Mathematics, on the other hand, it's fairly broad. Abstraction plays a major role. It's the study of patterns, the study of structures. But on the other hand, there are also applications all over. Mathematics is called the language of the universe.
Yeah.
And it plays a big role essentially in every other science.
Yeah, definitely.
So in that way, there's an overlap, but there are also differences. But within our department, we are one department,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really matter on what you work. There are quite a few interactions, scientific collaborations between statisticians and mathematicians.
Sure.
So there is an overlap, and we are one department.
Yeah, definitely. And you saying like math and stats is engaged in every other science and that it's applied, I think those are things people don't think about, because people from your department will often be part of a bigger research project that needs a mathematician. But you know, you study all types of stuff. I know there's people who study like the rate that ice melts, or
Yeah.
it's like fraud detection. So it's very real world applicable things that
Yeah.
are these huge
Yeah.
data sets. So I'd love to hear you talk about that more. Like what are the expertise that people research, and what makes them stand out in the research arena? Like when you were looking at the math and stats department here, what stood out to you?
So as a university, you need to have in every department some specialities, unless you have a department with 200 faculty.
Right.
So there are specialities, and there are some gaps, I need to say that, which we want to fill in the next,
Yeah.
in the next few years.
Sure.
But I think the strongest suits in the statistics sides are definitely statistical methods applied to medical sciences.
Sure.
We have some heavy hitting faculty in this area. As you mentioned, fraud detection, risk analysis, survival time analysis, and statistical inference. These are some of the key areas we have strong expertise.
Sure.
Department is fairly young,
Yeah.
particularly on the statistics side. There's essentially only one real senior statistician. The
Sure.
other ones are young people, a lot of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, the older people also have a lot of energy, but I try to emphasize that.
Yeah.
So it's fun to work with these people. They are very initiative and innovative and want to move things forward.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. On the mathematics side, the group is fairly similar in size to the statistics group. Mathematical analysis, kind of the outgrowth of calculus, is one of the main areas, with some of the key sub-disciplines being differential equations, ordinary differential equations, and partial differential equations, PDE. We have strong people there. We have people in applied mathematics doing modeling. Again, they are close to the stats side,
Right.
working with data sets, applying similar techniques, but also different techniques. Numerical analysis is a strong group in our department,
Sure.
so trying to find optimal algorithms to tackle some problems which are in principle computable, but not in a reasonable amount of time. So
Yeah.
if you have smarter approaches how to compute, we can
Right.
just solve things. The cost of computation
Sure.
can be minimized. That's an important aspect. We have people working in graph theory. Graph theory has become a very popular area, particular random graphs.
Sure.
So propagation of information, social networks, spread of rumors.
Yeah.
So it's again heavily applied. And then we have a few a little bit more pure mathematicians, primarily in functional analysis.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's good that you have kind of, it spreads the gambit from total abstraction to super applied, and all these, anything that you can think of that has a big data set involved, there's a mathematician who can do some kind of research project with it.
Yes, definitely.
So I just think that that's cool. And I like that you're noticing that they're young, but maybe they have a lot of ambition, and you can help shape that and help make that big impact that you're talking about. So yes, a lot of cool research, a lot of cool stuff going on the research side. But one thing I wanted to talk about is that math and stats is a very good instructional department as well.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a lot of Grisham Master teachers, I think more than any other department on campus.
Yeah.
So what's going on the instruction side? Is there anything cool being developed that you'd like to talk about?
So we have a big set of instructors, and I need to say they are really the crown jewel, not only of the department. They do an amazing job.
Definitely.
So essentially, they're heavily involved. As you mentioned, many of them have won awards for their teaching quality and their teaching excellence. But they're also extremely caring and innovative, and really strongly connected to the university.
Definitely.
So we currently discuss multiple issues. One of the issues is that some of our classes are just in class size way too large. And while our instructors really are absolutely all excellent, having a class with 150 students plus,
Yeah.
there's just very little you can do because you cannot one-on-one connect to the students.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
impossible. So we try to work on that, and there are several little strategies we can apply. We ask ourselves permanently, what can we improve? Do we do recitation sessions? Do we make a smarter use of our GTAs, of our PhD students, and so
Right.
forth? So academia for me is a continued, ongoing process of improvement.
Right, right.
And,
Definitely.
And that's what we do. But I need to re-emphasize this. Our instructors are one of a kind.
Definitely, yeah, and I've gotten to speak with them and interview them, and that passion really comes out. And I think you need, specifically, I think in math and stats, having someone who really cares about the matter and the student, but it goes a long way because it is the subject that people are so intimidated by. Okay, we have a minute or two left. We've talked all about the department. Now I want to hear about you. What are your plans? You've been here for a while.
Right.
What are your plans for the department? What's your vision for the future?
So I essentially, my basic driving principle is excellence in teaching and instruction.
Sure.
In teaching and research
Yeah.
at the same level. I like that very much, that at the university the emphasis is on both equally, teaching and research.
Definitely.
And essentially, I personally want to grow the department.
Sure.
Attract more students, attract more visitors, having a vibrant research atmosphere and a world-class education for our students.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. I just mentioned one thing. Our statistics group has just launched right now a new program,
Sure.
which will be the first BABS program in statistics, and we are hopeful that it might be even online next
Oh,
fall.
sure.
So these kind of innovations, training students in future technologies.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think it sounds like the department's doing well, and so you're just here and trying to keep it going. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But those new ideas and that overemphasis, I think, just goes such a long way. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me today.
Very welcome.
Really nice talking to you, and thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Vision. We'll see you next time.